Hi guys, in this video we're going to be painting the sunflower. Make sure you have your brushes ready, a little cup of water and a paper towel to dry your brushes off. Get your foam mixing plate with your paint. I've got 5 colors, yellow, blue, black, this Venetian red, it's like a burnt orange color, and white. I'm going to start with my background. So a bigger brush would work best. And I'm gonna make it like a nice dark blue. So to do that, I'm going to take black, not tons, but a fair amount, and stir that in with my blue. And then I'm going to take a little bit of white and stir that in as well. So it's like this deep midnight, pretty blue. Sorry, it's really hard to mix paint on a plate that's up and down like this. So just get it stirred in the best you can. And then go in around all your petals and do a nice even coat of this nice dark blue color. You're probably going to want to do 2 coats of this just because dark colors get really streaky. I am only going to do 1 just for the sake of keeping the video short. Just wait till each coat is dry in between. You don't want to paint on like sticky half-dry paint. It will actually pull the paint up and the canvas will show, and then you'll have like this weird funky hole, not really a hole, but a spot in your paint that is like a hole that is just very hard to get covered. So just please let it dry in between coats and you'll be just fine. So I'm doing my best to just have a nice, thin, even, smooth coat. And long strokes are better just because it leaves less brush marks behind. So anytime you can just go from one edge to the other, you'll have a smoother finish with your paint. Okay, I'm gonna blow this dry just because I don't want that blue getting sucked in off my brush when I start painting the petals and all that. So probably pretty good. Definitely does need a second coat. I'm gonna bypass that just so I can move on with the video. You will want to take your time and, you know, get the streaks all filled in. Next, I'm going to work on the center of my flower. I'm going to use my medium brush just to mix up my paint. I'm going to make a nice dark brown. And to do that, it's about equal parts of black and this burnt orange color. So I'll just take a scoop of black and just start stirring it in with my orange. And it's slowly starting to turn brown. It's still very orange. I need more black because I want a nice deep dark brown color. A little bit more black and it should be good to go. So something like that. Sorry, it's so hard to stir paint when it's straight up and down. Okay, so about like that. And you're just gonna fill in this whole like head of the sunflower. I'm gonna switch to my bigger brush. Right now I'm just scraping like the extra paint off of this, just so I don't waste it. Then I'll just stick that in my jar. And then with my big brush, I'm getting all the blue out of it. I'm just gonna go in and paint the circle, well, semicircle. So I got that done. Now I can go in and do my petals. But again, I want to make sure the edge is dry so I'm not pulling that paint into my petals. So onto the petals, I'm going to be using my medium brush, and I'm just going to do them a base coat of yellow. I'm going to mix white in with my yellow though. That just helps it be less transparent. The yellow is just a very hard color. So white and yellow, make sure you mix up quite a bit of this. There's a lot of petals. So we'll, you know, I've got a bigger canvas, so you might even need this much, I'm not sure. I might end up having to make more. Just make sure you make a lot. And I'm gonna go in and just fill in all of these petals. So just take your time, get nice, even paint. And your edges don't have to be absolutely perfect. We will go in with some other colors and kind of outline, like define them. And you could be using a bigger brush. I probably should be, but this is working just fine. And it's okay that those pencil lines are showing. That's good. We want those too, so when we go in with our defining line color, we have like a guide. We know where those petals start and stop. Could probably take my time a little better. I'm being very messy. All right, so I have all my petals filled in this pretty yellow. Now I'm gonna go in and kind of put some shadowy color in. So to make that color, I'm just gonna take a little scoop of this orangey color and mix it over here with quite a bit of my yellow color that I had white mixed into. So something about like that. Just wanted to have a very little bit of like an oranginess to it. And where they kind of overlap, you can brush, just lightly brush some of the lighter orange. So this one, this back one, and get a little bit more on the back ones than the ones that would be in front. So this one obviously now looks more in front of those ones behind. Can't get in there very good. And I will take a little bit of this color also, like where it would be coming out of the center, and just very lightly, and it's very little paint on my brush, very light-handed, just giving them a little bit of a streak. It's not filled in as solid as the ones that are kind of in the background. Very light. Just to give, like, you know how petals kind of have folds and things in them. This kind of just helps give that kind of appearance. If you get like that, I'm like, I don't really love that. I'm just gonna take my yellow and just kind of blend it out a little so it's not quite as bold. So anywhere that you may like think, oh, I wish I didn't put that much on, just take that yellow color that has the white mixed in with it, and you can just kind of brush over and it calms it down. So there I have, you know, some variation in the color on my petals. Next I will do, you know, a bit of a darker just to kind of outline. I'm going to take, so I have my nice dark brown color. I'm just going to take a scoop of that, and if you need more of that color to mix, it was about equal parts of black and this orange color. So I'm going to make this a little bit lighter by adding more orange to it. So I don't want it quite as dark as the center of my flower. So it's this more of an oranginess to it. So something about like that. So it still looks brown, but it's definitely, as you can see, lighter than this brown up here. Or as you can see there, the difference. So I'm just gonna take very little bits on my brush, and I'm gonna use the up and down of my brush so I make a more narrow line. So instead of holding my brush wide, I'll hold my brush narrow. And I'm going to do like quick kind of outlining lines. Because I want my paint to flow a little more smoothly, I'm gonna dip my brush in water and then just stir that water into my color. Maybe twice, just to get that paint thinned out just a little bit, and that will help it flow. And I'm just gonna come through and I've got my outlines and then just some quick little lines that radiate out. Let me just step back so I can see. So I kind of want to get where I slopped, try to get some of this bluish yellowy color, cover it a little, to kind of clean it up a bit. Okay, so I've got the outlines, if you will, done on my petals. I'm gonna come in here and work on the center of my flower. So I'm not gonna worry about cleaning out my brush, but I am gonna come into this dark brown and maybe clean up any edges where my yellow may have gotten a little messy. And then do a quick kind of all over. Doesn't have to be like full on second coat, but I want some of that dark brown paint on there nice and wet. So just quickly give it a quick once over. And then take your lighter brown that you did your outlining with, and you're just gonna kind of start swirling it on. You don't wanna go back and forth too many times because it'll just blend completely, and you wanna see the kind of those swoops in there. So once you have that lighter brown put on, you're going to just take this orange all by itself. You don't need to clean your brush. I'm just dipping it in there to get a good coat on my brush. And you're going to swoop the brighter orange right in also. And don't work it too much. You want to keep those kind of swoops showing. So the more you go back and forth over it, the more it's just going to be a solid color instead of have that like texture to it. So it looks pretty good to me. And lastly, we're just going to add in some highlights. And I'm going to do that just using some white. So I'm cleaning out my brush. And then with just white paint, I'm going to go in on some of the petals and give them a little like bright pop. So just anywhere that you just kind of need a little bit of brightness. And I'll also take some white and kind of swirl it in. And I'm blending it with this white wet paint, just a little, to give it a lighter, little bit of a highlight on the edge. Again, I didn't do a second coat, but I definitely would recommend that you do. If you didn't yet, go back in and clean up your blue. I have lots of streaks. I mean, I could do it quickly just to get it done. After I finish the video, I probably will, just so that my picture looks better when I post it. Feel free to sign your name. I usually do it down in this bottom corner, but you can put it wherever you want. When you are finished, please do take pictures. I love seeing your finished work. I have a post pin on the top of my Facebook page. So you just upload there and then I can check out what you've done. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I see you in the next one. Thanks.